Ladies and gentlemen, Building London, part number 10. Glad to have everyone back. Thanks so much for tuning in, and be sure to smash that like button if you enjoy what you're seeing in this series and on my channel. For those of you that don't already know, it's been a while since I've last uploaded. It's been primarily not because I didn't want to upload, but because I've had some severe computer problems. Had some issues with my saves, my loads in both my Sims 4 and in my, of course, SimCity, as you're seeing now. I've done my best to kind of get everything back in order. Fortunately, it wasn't a complete and total loss. I'm going to go ahead after this little short commentary. I'm going to throw up a little bit of a time lapse as far as what I had to do to kind of brush everything back up from the end of last episode. I will also link the entire Building London playlist down below for those of you that would like to see step-by-step what I'm doing and how I've done it. I have a lot of questions in regards to mods that I use. And you know what? It's not because I don't want to tell you what mods I use, but a lot of the mods I use aren't available anymore. I've gone to the website, I've tried to find links for a lot of my viewers that are asking, and they don't exist. So I have to do some more research, and hopefully, and unfortunately, I didn't lose all my mods, because that would have been pretty devastating if you think about it. Anyway, so if those of you that have paid attention to my previous episodes, we went ahead and we added in the Shard, which is one of the main focal points of downtown London. Realistically, the Shard is probably down in this vicinity, down here, but because of the mountain range and the small map sizes, I've kind of crunched it down just to get the core things and the few core landmarks in the city down. I'm not going to go too much into detail about some of this other stuff that I've done already, primarily because if you'd like to know about it, you can check the previous episodes. But we've actually had a little bit of a worker, and you'll see in the time-lapse that I'm going to throw up here, a little bit of a worker issue. A lot of these buildings were starting to go, and that's what I remind everyone with, for those of you that are newer to the game, and especially with some of these new mods like RCI Plopper and stuff like that. You know, if you go and you start adding zones too quickly, like for example, I threw down all these zones, mainly this is residential, you don't have too much problems when you add more residential, but if you go adding zones of commercial and stuff like that all over the place, you're just pretty much lining yourself up for trouble, because initially, you know, the buildings, they're of course going to construct themselves, and it'll just be a matter of time before they just go abandoned due to lack of workers. So that's kind of the problem I had. I had to actually throw in some of these horrible, ugly-looking project buildings down over here oh man, that was a mistake, but I can add it back. I added these buildings in down here just because of these few commercial buildings that I added for the downtown feel. They were all going abandoned, and you know, I had to add something in there for more residents. The high wealth London-style buildings, they don't really hold too many people, and I can show you proof of that. And let me get this building back in here too, because it took me a while. I don't even know which one it was. This is the RCI Plopper, by the way, for those of you that don't know. I get so many questions on this. This used to be available on Simtopia, or whatever the heck it's called, Simpedia, and I can't remember which one it was. This is going to drive me nuts, but I'm not going to spend a bunch of time here. I guess that's fine. But it's not there anymore, or if it is, I can't find it. I spent at least 20 minutes trying to find the website. I've Googled it too, and there's a couple dead links out there for it. Maybe what I'll do is I'll find which one it is in my folder, and I'll upload it to like Google Drive or something like that. And I think it's only, I don't know, sometimes these packages or these mods, they come with multiple files. Some of them are just one simple, you know, .package file, but some of them are multiple, so that's kind of gonna be a problem if I go to link just the package file, and there's realistically more to it. But we're starting to finish up here. I mean, I wanted to kind of focus on this little section here. London is full of a lot of diagonal roads and little triangular intersections and stuff like that, like this. And unfortunately, for those of you that play this game, they don't really, Maxis or whatnot, they didn't really do a good job with, you know, coming up with like kind of buildings or parks that can fill these corners. I mean, fortunately, we've got the you know, the Tree Anywhere mod and the pedestrian paths and stuff like that, so you can kind of make and do your best with it. As you can see, that's what I've done. And I'm going to save one of my final episodes for kind of the touch-ups and stuff like that, all these little corners. I mean, I can brush them up and make them look real pretty with trees and small little paths and stuff like that. It just takes so much time, and it's kind of a drain, especially if I'm going to be changing things later on. But more or less, you know, it's very, very tedious, and that's why this particular city has taken me so long. And mind you, these are time lapses too. You got to think, if I drew these episodes out and I didn't do time lapses, we were talking 30, 40 episodes for this series likely, which is way more than I've ever done for any particular city. I've had entire regions in my Sims, season 2, for example, where, out of 30 episodes, I built like 5 cities. So, it's all relative. If you want it to look nice, if you want it to, be on point, it takes time, and trying to get that appealing to my viewership is always tough. But fortunately, we're kind of back in the game here. I've gotten everything back to kind of where I wanted. This is going to be a tough section here. This is realistically a park. It's kind of big, though. I mean, that's really what it is. I had a larger train yard out here, but I decided to kind of knock it down. I think it looks cool. I mean, there's a few things that I'm going to change, but once I finish off this corner, this area down here, like, it's going to be very similar to this. It's going to be more the modernized, buildings or what have you. And then after that, it's just going to be kind of touching up the little, corners and parks and stuff like that. Like stuff like this I'm going to remove. And just making sure everything is balanced. Some of you have been asking for this here. This is, as you can see, I guess since I've taken over, I think this is probably where I started playing. But as we add more people, the issues arise. Nobody's really unemployed. There's a lot of medium and low wealth available jobs, but more or less that's because I'm trying to fill the city with high wealth residential. Why is the land value so low here? Huh. Yeah, there's like little pockets of... I don't know. That's kind of weird. I'll have to look into that. Land value too. I wish there was a little... I hate to cheat, but it'd be cool if there's a cheat code to just make the whole plot high wealth. That would be pretty sweet. But I don't think that exists. Or if it does, please let me know in the comments below. Anyway, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut into a little bit of music and some time-lapse. If you enjoyed the series, like I said, just drop a like. Always helps me out, helps the series and the channel out. Multiplayer Season 3, I've still kind of focused on this for right this second until I kind of finish up. I know there's a lot of you out there that are interested. There's really no other YouTubers doing anything like that. I do want to do it again. I've had some great ideas out there. It's just a matter of kind of, putting it together and having the time for it. With these recent computer issues, I don't like to make excuses, but, with these recent computer issues, it's really kind of setting me back. I had some time off, and rather than getting everything together on my channel and focusing more on the viewers and whatnot, I had to kind of wait for the mail and the UPS driver. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and throw up that time-lapse. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, and we'll see everyone for the next episode.